Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is Amanda Moxley, and today we have Alixe Tracey. She is a phenomenal business owner, and I have known her since 2013, 2012, and she is going to talk to us today about how to stop being the looker, seeker, and how to become the finder, how to go from student to expert. It's going to be so good. So let's dive in. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is fun.
It is.
Yeah.
You're
So,
amazing. I love your work that you do and how you help people.
thank you. Well, I sort of just reverse engineer, people tell me where they want to be, and I can kind of intuitively tune into their energy and see, oh, where are they? They want to be over there, but I can tell they're stuck over here, and I can read their thoughts almost and pinpoint
Mhm.
like their frequency and their energetic blueprint. And I started out as just really I started out meditating just so I could have inner peace and I could clear my head. And then I developed my intuition that way, and I cleared up all my chakras and connected to the angelic realm and became really intuitive that way. So now I can use it for people who want to, go to their next level. And
It's amazing. I love it. Okay, so we both been on in the online space and we've seen a lot of people, they're great at consuming, they're good students, they're good at
yes,
seeking.
yeah.
And how do people get, because a lot of people they'll buy a program, they'll buy a course, but they
Yeah.
don't follow through and they don't get the result. They're not where they want to be. So
Yes.
how do people collapse that timeline and become who they
And
want
get
and get in
paid.
alignment with what they
And get
want?
paid. Yeah. Because so
Yeah.
students spend money to learn. Students spend money to learn, and experts get paid. And you
Yes.
can be an expert and still buy a coaching program or get out there and pay someone to help you make money. But I've worked with so many women, and the way they talk is they say, "Oh, I want to learn. Teach me how to learn. Show me. I just want to learn." And I'm like, "No, I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to get you to fish. I don't want to teach you how to fish. I want to show you here's how you're going to fish." And because I do such spiritual work that I love it when there's quantifiable results, when it's like, okay, I sold a 5K package this week, paying full. Okay, we're good. Like you shifted your energetic blueprint and now you're making money. And I had
Mhm.
this, so I have a group of ladies in my mastermind, or we all get together every week on a Zoom call, and then they have some one-on-ones with me. And this one girl, she kept staying stuck in the student, and she just wouldn't move to being an expert. She just couldn't move. So, we found the root cause. It was some childhood trauma that we worked through. But right after that, she started selling packages more consistently because she owned that expertise. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
think, just to give people the awareness, I mean, there's an exercise I can walk you through, but it's really just at least naming it. So I always say you can't
Mhm.
heal an archetype. Like an archetype is an archetype for a reason. Like a doubter is a doubter, a hustler is a hustler, the overgiver is an overgiver. You're not going to heal archetypes because they're archetypal for a reason. They're trying to protect you, or they're making you live inside an ecosystem of beliefs for a reason. The mother archetype versus the entrepreneur archetype. Yeah. But
So good.
but if you can name them, you can at least have that space of being like, oh, wait, I'm in that archetype right now. Maybe I can
Mhm.
talk to this part of me, reparent, validate, see what's up, and then I can pivot. And I literally make people walk on the floor. Like I'll make them walk from one part of the room to the other until they can feel that they've moved away from the doubter or moved away from the student. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. I love it.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. You can't heal an archetype. An
Well, and a lot
archetype
of
lives
people,
in.
yeah, they
Mhm.
waste a lot of time trying to heal archetypes, and there's no point because an archetype's not going to change.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? And like a lot of people are always working on their identity, shifting their identity to become the person,
Yeah,
but then they're just trying to manage and heal that identity and it's not shifting.
exactly. Yeah. So, for example,
Wow.
I had a client who had been a really she was working a lot as an actress for like 10, 15 years, and then she had two kids. And she called me after 4 years of no movie, no interviews, like no TV appearances. And she's like, Alex, what's happening? Because she's been on pretty big major movies like Batman and 2012
Oh,
and things. And she was like, how come I'm not getting anything? And I said, well, that's because the mother archetype will not let you leave your babies to go shoot a movie in Canada for 3 months. That's logic.
right.
She goes, really? I go, yes, we
Yes.
need them to talk. So the actress archetype was being blocked by the mother archetype, who wasn't going to let her, go off to make a movie in Mexico. No way. And then we
Mm-hmm.
worked together for a few weeks, and within I think 6 weeks, we nailed it. We reprogrammed both archetypes. They talked to each other, and the next day she got called by the number one television station in France, and she appeared on TV for an interview. And ever since, she's been on TV every week on this weekly TV show. So it worked right away. Like the archetypal work is so fast because when you do it, you get results really fast once it's, done.
That is so cool. So is that Freud, psychodynamic theory,
I don't know because I do everything is
or
intuitive.
Jungian? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I didn't train in this. I learned I've done thousands of sessions on clients, right? Because I've been doing this for
Mhm.
17 years. So archetypal work, I think I just started to tune into it and read about it, and then I just started to do it and practice it. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
somebody.
Yeah. Or Jung, Carl Jung, something like
Yeah.
that. It's fantastic. Okay. So
But
they
see,
really
that's
have
the
to shift.
student in you. Like that's the
I
student
know.
in you who's like, oh, I need to read into this. No, you just have to do it so then you can
Exactly.
move on.
Busted. Busted. It's so true. It's so true. We want to learn and I really believe like our childhood. I went to 19 years of school of being
Yeah,
completely programmed to
to
be a
learn.
student. But I've been
Yeah.
an entrepreneur for now 20, so it kind of balanced out.
But you'll hear people say, "Oh, before I can go over here and be this, I have to learn the system. I got to learn." It's like, "Well, who told you you had to learn? Why can't you just do it and
Mhm.
you'll learn on the job?" But you'll hear
Yes.
in people's the way they talk during calls. So just I think if anyone's listening and you can resonate, I would say watch how you put the thing you need to do before you can get the thing you want. You'll say things like, "Oh, I got to
Mm.
read more books." "Oh, I can't have that result yet because I haven't learned how to do funnels or email marketing." Well, why can't you let yourself have the thing before?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right?
Like
Or
no one
like, what
told
about,
me. Yeah, go ahead.
mhm. What if someone's like, I can't do this because I have debt? They use their
It's
debt as an excuse to not invest or
right.
get paid. Or,
I mean, I think debt is like mixed in with so much shame, and it can be mixed in with feeling um, constricted. And I think that's an energy thing you need to heal because maybe there's a like I always say, if you can, if it feels sticky and recurring now as an adult, you felt it as a child. So if you
mhm,
feel constricted and limited as an adult because of debt or because of kids or because of marriage or because of whatever, wherein had you already felt, I can't, I want to, but I can't as a kid. And it's just
mhm,
a memorized emotion that's now living in your biology and it's living in your tissues and your cells. So it's just recycling a familiar feeling of I don't have enough or I'm not enough.
mhm. That's so deep.
And wherein do you have to invest to get to your next level? I think there's so many ways to get to your next level without investing. But if you were conditioned to think I have to invest to get to my next level, then you're
Mhm.
thinking that way too.
So we've talked a little bit earlier before we recorded about how people, like you were saying, there's a next level to their next level, and
Yeah.
how people they're like, I'm going for my next level, but then what
And they get
happens?
there. Yeah,
They get,
okay. So I've noticed this, and this happened to me a little bit. It was like, oh, we're striving for this prize, and it's feels distant, but like we do all the work and we get there and it manifests, but it can manifest so quickly and kind of quantum leap so quickly where you're like, wait, it's already here and it could be here forever. If you don't F it up, you could have it forever. It is like, I got to the next level, I'm in this new next level, but I think we lose sight of our identity and the subconscious is like, this is not familiar. We don't know this, like we didn't think it was possible that quickly, so we go back to homeostasis, we go back to what's familiar. So I
mhm.
think there's like my lesson in what happened to me is like, oh, it was so easy. Business was so easy. Growing was so easy because it was just my love. There wasn't a lot of friction. It was like, oh, let me be of service. Let me show up. Let me give what I can. And, I thought I had done a lot of healing work on myself, but I don't think you realize that you still got, like, I still had resentment with my dad and I still had stuff with money. So when I got to this next
Mhm.
level, all the shit I hadn't healed was like right in my face. And it was like, oh,
Mm.
I'm unworthy of this. Who am I to have this?
Mhm.
And so I spent a whole year like really fine combing like the stuff I hadn't looked at, and I did some like so much forgiveness work and
Mhm.
processing and completing and changing my mind and all the things we teach, being
Right?
willing to see things differently. Yeah.
Then yeah, it's so interesting there. It really is layers. It's
Yeah.
layers and patterns and learning and unlearning. It's so amazing. I completely agree. I love that you said that you were in so much love and service
Yeah.
and it flowed
Yeah.
to you and then you received it. And then, so what is the trick to get people to go and stay and maintain and be able to hold it, right? Hold what it
Yeah.
is they're asking for
That
and
next
recalibrate
level.
that it's no
Mm.
big deal. Like we're like normalizing the millions, normalizing this ease, normalizing.
So I think the work that has to be done is we can't want money to fill a void, and we can't look at money to feel worth. I think a lot of people think, oh, if I have more, I'll feel more. But the whole I'm not enough, like it can't be money that heals that. And I think
Right.
there's a little bit of a delusion that if I make more money, I'll feel safer. You can actually start feeling safer every day before money comes. You can practice
Hmm.
asking yourself, like, where in during the day have I felt safe today? Maybe it's when you lay in bed and you have the covers and you're cuddling with your love and you feel safe, or with your kids or at the park. Like, where in do you feel safe outside of money? Because that will help teach your biology. We attract based on our like what we memorized inside ourselves. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that. But if you
Hmm.
start to memorize security and safety without needing money, I think when money does come, it's like, oh, it's just another Tuesday. It's normalized. Of course, but yeah, I think, again, I'm speaking from my own experience, but it's sitting in the reality that this is coming. I think for me, it was also like, it felt like so far. And maybe for women, I've been studying, like I read people's energy, and I'm dating somebody who's made a lot of money quite, I feel it easily. Like it feels like men make money more easily. This is a limiting belief I have.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think women are like, oh, it's going to be hard. Like we're going to have to hustle to make money. But some men, they make a couple calls and they just made $1 million. It's like, wait, what?
Mhm.
Like, how does that work? So I feel like I'm working on questioning that belief, because I
Mhm.
feel like it's the truth. I'm making it the truth.
Right? It's
Yeah.
so true. That's pure gold. I love this idea of safety. It's weird. After like 20 years of being on this journey and ending money drama and having cycles, I didn't really get the whole safety thing. Back in the day, I talked about the wounded child is in the way of the wealth consciousness. And you got to parent that WC1,
Yes.
you got to love up that. But I never got this whole safety. So I hope people listening, that was helpful for you too. It's like you got to memorize safety and security without money. Like
Yeah.
money is not safety.
No, it can't be. It's just paper. Like
Yeah,
it's a
or it's not
lemon.
even anything.
Yeah, and so I do this thing called ping ponging in my sisterhood, where the way I get them to manifest clients and money is I have them use a tool, that is called ping ponging, and in it we talk about 3 different jars. And if you want, I'll tell your audience about these jars.
Yeah.
But the way these jars came to me, well, they came to me a couple different ways in my life. But the second time it came to me is I was kind of in a very difficult, abusive relationship with somebody who just he didn't know it, but he was very abusive verbally and he was very abusive emotionally.
Mhm.
And I was making him my source of safety and approval. And I felt like if only he can be sober, or if only he can change, if only, I'll feel approval and safety and control. Like I wanted to feel calm and in control, right? So we have
Mhm.
the instinct to feel safety, we have the need and instinct to feel approved of, and we have the need and instinct to feel like calm and centered and control. And I had given him all of these 3 jars unknowingly, you know? And he's like,
Wow.
oh, you'll fill me up. You'll fill these jars up. But the dude didn't even know I gave him my jars. Like he didn't know. And he doesn't even know how to fill up his own jars. You know, he was using drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things to fill up his own emptiness. So he couldn't fill them up.
Right?
So I was in like the most devastating pain of my life, and I had a small boy, and this guy was living in my village, and I kept running into him, and he just wasn't leaving me. And I'm like, what? Like, I can't keep being in pain. So I meditated, and I
Mhm.
heard my higher power, like spirit, say, you gave him all of your jars, you got to take them back. And it was like this transcendental meditation where I took back my jar of safety and I stopped making him my source of safety. And I took back my jar of approval and my jar of control. And it became this thing where I'm like, I don't even need him in my life. Like, I can move out. And I moved out and moved to the beach in the south of France with my son. And we got this 3-bedroom condo on the beach. It was just fabulous. Like, God was like, I got you. And
Yes.
just to wrap up with the jars is the understanding that my higher power gave me is like, I will fill up these jars for you all the time through
Mhm.
people and experiences, but you can't decide who's going to fill them up. Like, it's not going to be money. Sometimes it will be money, but it's not going to, you know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
softening and a letting go. And
Mm.
so now what I teach is like, oh, when you want to make 10,000 a month, wherein do you want approval, control, or safety? And then we heal and we go back to, have you felt safety today? Yes. So your jar is filled up today. You don't need to ask. See, some people ask for money to come in from giving money the jar of safety, and so it's not in them to fill up. Does that make sense? Like,
Hmm.
so you become kind of detached. So like the approval
Yeah.
job is like, well, if this client or this friend can't give me approval, it's fine, because if I'm paying attention, my intuition is going to guide me to another person or situation where I'm going to feel
Mhm.
loved, I'm going to belong, I'm going to feel approved of. I just have to pay attention to where and who that is.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So
I love that. Yeah, so filling up every day, safety, control, and approval. So what do you do? You know, this idea of like I just had a visual. So many years ago, I had this visual of like, I want to make 50K months. I want to make 50K months. And I closed my eyes and I visualized it and I saw, and I probably went on stage and shared this, but I saw if I'm at 50K months, I need to have epic levels of positive experiences.
nice.
Epic levels of positive experiences. So I was telling John, my husband, about it, and he was like, elope. Will you elope with me? And it was like epic level. I gotta have such a high vibe. So what there's so much pressure in the manifestation of like, if you're not high vibe, then it's not coming. And
Well,
so
I think that's where there's disassociation, or like it's where the gap happens. And when the 50K a month comes in, there's a distance between who you truly are, and then
mhm,
I have to be this high vibe. But if you
mhm,
were more like having your coffee in the morning calmly, watching the birds, journaling in this peace, in place of peace, and you were like, and I'm calling in 50K because I can be of service to more people and it helps more people. And like, I think if you do it through a regulated nervous system from a place of fullness. So,
mhm,
have I felt love and approval today? Yeah. This morning when I got a hug. Have I felt calm and in control? Yeah, when I meditated. And then, so when we ping pong
mhm,
on goals, like, we ping pong and we ask, why would you be opposed to the goal too? Because your subconscious will tell us, why don't you want the 50K a month? Oh my God, it's going to be so stressful. I don't know, it's going to be too much work, whatever. Like, you'll have oppositions and then we clear those up as well. But what I love about this method is it allows you to preemptively think, ooh, what love and approval am I going to feel tomorrow? What love and approval am I going to feel
mhm.
next week? And so, I went to the park yesterday with my fiance. We're in Brussels in Belgium, and we laid on the grass, and the wind was blowing through the tree above us, and we're near a lake, and the dog is running around, and the kids are laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is my safety that I'm going to use later on. This is my approval I'm going to use
Yes.
later on. So
Mhm.
I'm coming in my goal filled up. I'm
Yeah, you're already it.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter if the goal comes or doesn't come.
no,
Because people think they attach that the goal is going to make them feel something, but they got to feel it first.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where the safety,
Yeah.
control, and approval. That is so, I could talk to you forever.
Thank you. I
It's
love
so
it. You
great.
asked good questions. I know you needed to run. Yeah, I think,
Yeah, it's
and
such
then the last thing is, what if the goal is not the 50K, but like the goal is not limited to 50K? Like just turn on the oven and cook all the food you want. You know, some people want to just be
Mhm.
like, let me just make $2,000 more, but that limits them.
Right.
Yeah.
So not even putting a number to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just I want to help. Like, how can I let more people feel impacted? Like right now, the whole thing I'm doing is not focusing on a money goal, but on how open am I to impacting more people and stop hiding and letting myself be more visible with, could I share this with more, like the feeling of that one person I get to impact today, you know? See,
Yes.
like I get excited at the idea that somebody might go into like my, so I have this Facebook group called You Are a Healer, and it just helps people realize that their energy heals and their presence heals. And then there's, you know,
Hmm.
angel meditations and aura clearing meditation. And like, I'm like, I feel excited that somebody might, for the first time in their lives, like meditate and feel the light from
Hmm.
source fill them up. Like that's the impact. And then I don't want to worry about, is she going to get in on my funnel, or I don't know, I don't even have a funnel, but you know, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Focus on the actual value and service. And if you think about the people who like the iPhone, right? Like Steve Jobs creating that and Wozniak, it's like they're getting value and we're all enjoying our phones and the connection and ease that it's brought. So focusing more on value and service versus the money. So
well, like,
how can we join
yeah,
you?
let me
Yeah,
just
go
say, like
ahead.
when you're on stage and you give these incredible like events, we know when you do these like women coming together and you're on stage sharing your stories and helping people with all of this, and
Mm-hmm.
like if you just love that, that compounds your love, your gratitude. And if you hold that,
Mm-hmm.
you just hold the feeling of I'm on stage and the photographer and the women and we're dancing, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that literally creates this wave of manifestation for you to just be like, if you can visualize that and be abundant, then you're going to create abundance from that.
Yes, I know. It's so fun.
You impact so many people with that. Like you helped me so much with my talk, like just breaking it up and telling me, oh, this is your talk, it's so obvious. And I was like, really, this is what you want me to talk about? But yeah,
Mhm.
so
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, she came and spoke on stage at what was it, 2016? Came
yeah,
to from France, came to Utah, rocked it out,
yeah,
and you filled your mastermind, I think,
yeah,
at the end. So that was fabulous.
yes.
So fun. Okay, how can we follow you? How can we join your Facebook group? All the things.
Yay. So Alixe K Tracey is my email. So it's ALIXE, my website, ALIXEK Tracey, TRACEY. And then you can look me up on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called You Are a Healer. It's a small baby Facebook group I just started. There's another one called Sales Angel Heart for the ones who
Oh,
are more, if you're more into sales right now and you need more like help with getting over yourself to have more sales, you can go to Sales Angel Heart or just say hi.
okay.
You can DM me and, you know, yeah.
So good. Thank
Yeah.
you. You gave us
Thank
so
you.
many nuggets. Be sure to comment, you guys, engage, and I'll be sure I'll put this. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Alex. Have a
no
great day in
problem.
Belgium.
Okay, bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye.